Alright, so going back up here to the pool. Sorry, got a bad cough. Alright, so the water line comes out. This connection here is a flow regulator. So basically, let's bring it closer here for you guys. This twists and lets out water, depending on, how fast you want your robot to go, and depending on your pool, of the way it is. I mean, my pool is pretty flat. It's a little bumpy in places. So you adjust it. You're going to spend out here at least a good 15-20 minutes of adjusting, just to watch it where it gets stuck, and just understanding how this robot works. Not that difficult. Between the most thing that I had to adjust with this is the flow. As you can see, there's a lot of work coming out. So doesn't use too much of the pressure, but it works very well. So you're gonna have to adjust that. Not a big deal. Just some patience and time. So, alright, so we're using outflow, the water that gets put back into the pool. So you're bypassing your filter. You're also, with this valve being right here to let out water, it also gives you, because in this pool I only have one inlet that comes in. If I had an in-ground pool, you have more than one, so this wouldn't be a problem for you. I like this because the water that shoots out also creates the whirlpool effect, where the water slowly moves at the top so that it can bring the stuff that's floating back into the skimmer and get sucked in. So, like, I don't think you can see it. There's a piece of grass there floating, but it will push it along and eventually bring it back around to the skimmer, and it would get sucked in and be cleaned. Alright, so you get a good amount of hose. I had to take one hose off of this because this 16 by 16 pool was too much hose. As you can see, it's pretty spread out right now. Sometimes it gets caught up with each other like it's doing right now, but it normally gets untangled because at each, where the white parts are, there's swiveled ends. So there's there's a lot of breaks here where the swivel ends are. So it untangles itself. So you can see it moving. It's horrible because the water moving on the top. Let me see if I can get a better view. Alright, a little better now because the water's not really moving here. You can see it picked up a lot of debris down there already. So what happens now, when it hits the wall like this, see how it slowly turns that fin? Now that's the water coming out of the pool pump. Now pushing it, that's how it propels itself. That fin actually works pretty well, and that's what you need to adjust the most. Not the fin, the water pressure, so that when it hits the side of the pool, it turns. Again, that will be some adjusting, which I have done with this one, and it works actually pretty well. If you take your hand and put it underneath it, you really don't feel the suction, which I thought was really weird. But then when I actually let it do its thing, it actually picked up a lot, and I was really surprised. Here we go again, it's turning, and it's going to push off. There it goes. She's on her way. Alright, gonna turn off the pump, and oh, one other thing before I turn off the pump. Because you have the water that's coming back into the pool, getting pushed down through that hose and propelling the unit that sucks up the stuff, you're also getting maximum mixture. So now, so if I didn't have this unit on here, say, and it was just the water coming in, this water will sit pretty much, you know, make it a whirlpool effect here, but won't really mix the water very well as temperature. When I use this thing, I notice big difference. Normally, the top of the pool warms up pretty quickly with the solar blanket, but as you go deeper, it doesn't. So, just for say, if I stuck my hand in and went up to my elbow, where my hand would be really cold, and where my elbow would be very hot. So, using this also really mix up the pool pretty well, because you're taking now the water that gets sucked up through the top surface and putting it on the bottom of the surface, and really giving it a good flow. And you're also putting it on the top too, but you get a very good mixture. Alright, I'm going to turn it off and I'll show you the workings of the unit, bottom unit there. Alright, so the unit is out of the pool, as you can tell. We have it on the grass here now. One thing I learned about this this device is when you're pulling it up by the hose, you want to pull it up as pretty quick, you know, at a constant pulling it up, because you don't want to stop, because then the stuff will come out of the bottom because the water is rushing through here and not really creating a good suction to keep all the stuff inside the unit. So, alright, so this is the arm that swivels. So the water pressure comes down into here. You're going to have to assemble this part. It's not that hard, just a little difficult. When you're assembling it, it's two things that pops right on. And this basically, what it does, as you can see here, it clicks forward and then goes there. It kind of stops your robot from going too fast. So the water, so say it's going forward, and this is propped forward. The water is hitting this to slow down the unit from going too fast. Very simple design and works pretty well. So again, the water comes in, goes through this, the water comes out this way, getting good mixture in the bottom of the pool. To clean this unit is pretty simple. I already did it because you need two hands. You need to put one hand here, and just twist. And that whole part just comes right off. Straight off. Okay? Then you have the filter part here, which I probably should have did too, because you need two hands, or just take it and push it up from the bottom through the hole. So, you know, just clean this off. As you can see, I really don't have that much on here. You can even do that too. Most of the time I do that. But look at this debris. This was all on the bottom. I would have been sitting there vacuuming the pool all this time to get all the stuff out. I have to say this product actually works really well for what it is and how much it was. This unit was $100. Oh my god, there's a spider in there too. It's sucked up. Mr. Spider. Crazy. What things get caught up in your pool. So I'm going to dump that all out. You know, you can rinse this out with the hose, which I'll do right now, and then we'll come back and assemble it again. And I'm going to show you the wheels when I come back. We're back here with the unit. As you can see, I cleaned the filter with the hose and the inside with the hose. So this sits over, covers that hole in the bottom there. I'm just going to do this also because this is very important. The wheels on this thing. Each of these holes is a different level to bring it the hole here closer to the bottom of your pool for more of a suction to get, depending on your pool and depending on, you know, like I have a rounded, see like an edge here, as what pretty much all Intex pools have. It's not flat, so what I noticed, if I lowered it, it picked up more, and it also didn't get stuck on the edge. So, just another quick tip for you guys, if whoever buys this. What I believe, one thing you also have to be conscious of, if you have really big leaves and a lot of these leaves, when they get pulled into here, most of the time they get sucked right into there and stuff. But if you had like a cluster, like I had a cluster of them in here, and I noticed my robot kept flipping over, which that never happened before. I was like, oh my god, what's going on? And I thought it was the pressure. I was playing with the pressure. I pulled this out. There was like a whole mess of leaves stuck in here. So if that happens to you where it flips over, it's that. I mean, so far, the whole time of using this thing, that happened to me once this season. And we're coming toward the end of the season now. So, and it just happened this week. So that was pretty funny. But just another tip for you guys that use this. We're going to put the cover back on. It's over here, sitting here. Pretty much pick it up, put it over. I think I could do this with one hand. Yep. Slide it in, and you're done. And put it back in the pool. That's all you have to do. And you'll keep cleaning. So here we go. Takes a little while for the water to get in, but it'll go in. There you go. Sinks to the bottom. Once it sinks to the bottom, depending on your pool, how big it is, turn on the pump. Alright, as you can see, the hose moving. The robot's cleaning again. All that debris is not in it. I normally do not clean out that bin on the bottom of the robot every time I use it. I normally use it about 2 times and then I clean it out. But since it was so dirty, the pool, because it's been sitting here for a week without any chlorine or pump circulation, you know, didn't get cleaned. So now that we have that going, alright, a couple other tips that I forgot to mention. When I modified the skimmer area here, I also modified the cartridge. The cartridge is a very small hole when you get it. See these rings here? There was one in. This was the not the outer ring. There was one that came out over here, and it was a smaller hole. So what I did was opened it up to 1.5 inches. Same thing with the bottom one. Okay, there you go. To fit in the hole directly over that. So this sits directly over that. As you can see, the chlorine is getting very small now. I use the size of the chlorine fits pretty much directly into that hole. Sometimes it takes a little forcing it in, but it gets in there. So that goes there. Because of that, that was the size of the hole when the cartridge came with it. You know, when the cartridge comes new. So because that's so much now bigger, that hole, if I don't keep this rock in here, which I don't really like to do, but there's a lot of protection, it won't get sucked into the motor. This is actually bigger than what the pipe is, so it's not going to get stuck in there anyway, and if it does, it's still let water in there. Anyway, it is the filter cartridge in the way too. So that sits in there to hold it down. See, now it won't float. It's made of plastic, it's going to float. So that keeps it directly on there and pretty much keeps a good seal around the top there to let the water, not water go through there and actually go through the filter. One other thing, when the pump is on, I put this flap stays, I can't even get it now with my finger because it's off. There we go. Alright, this will sit completely flat. Now, this draws, yes, it draws the water in. Yes, it does pull things off the top of the water. Yes, it's effective, but it's not really effective. Because what you want is, because it's not on, you want it to be about like this angle. So that the water is rushing off the top of this, off of this edge, back into the skimmer area. What that does is creates a, you'll see it when I turn it on. See how the water level is all pretty much the same in here? What's going to happen, this area is going to drop more, and this area is not going to drop more. It's going to be the same. And what that does is creates a like vortex of suction into this area. And I noticed a big difference on the clean, how clean the top of the pool has been since I did this. When the pool gets, for right now I'm using this rock, does a great job. Had no issues of it getting into the suction area. Again, just two things here to protect it if this ever got sucked in through there. And then a third one, there's the basket in here, so it will never go that way. But if it does, I have those little protections, so it's not going to kill the motor or anything. So what I'm saying is, this rock sits here. When the pump is on, this gets pushed forward. Can't get it. There we go. So this goes. Now that rock stops this from going all the way straight down, and you'll see a big difference in the flow. I'll turn it on with this rock here and turn it out without it, and you'll notice a big difference in suction. When at the end of the year, this first year that I had this pool, I'm going to modify this. I'm going to put like a piece of wood and glue it in here, or a piece of plastic that's a little thick that I can glue in here instead of using this rock, and I'll never have to think about this again. Or when I change, clean the cartridge or anything, I don't have to worry about this getting, dropping in there. All right, let's turn it on, and I'll show you the difference with and without. All right, this is with the rock there. See how it's creating a vortex? Big difference in the water flow here. All right, let me take out the rock. All right, hold on. We gotta let the pump now because I interrupted its flow, and let air get into the system. Let it completely purge now. Almost completely purged. We are now maximum flow. See how it sits? And it really does not draw much in there. Big difference from that. Again, it's still working. You can see it's still pulling in water. Well, let's look at the difference in water. See how the water line is pretty much the same? Let's watch the suction now get created by putting this rock underneath here. Alright, let's, really not much air got in the system. Now look how it dropped. Maximum level there, see? Big difference in the flow. It's unbelievably different. And it makes a big difference with suction off the top of the pool into the skimmer area. I don't know if you guys can see it. But even as it's wrapping around the corner here, let's get a little closer here. It's making good suction. Alright, enough with that. Since the pool's been sitting here, we're going to add shock in here. I do it slowly. I'm working with a cartridge filter, and once it goes, you don't want to pour too much because it eventually gets sucked into the pump area, which you do not want, really. It's okay, as long as you don't pour so much. When I worked at the pool place, we used to pour gigantic bags of this stuff, bucket sizes, into these huge, gigantic pools. Every bag comes with the directions on the back. Follow your pool size, how many gallons, and depending on your pool, you might have to put 2 of these. Maybe you have to put 1 of them. This pool, I put 1 of them in, and it does a great job. It all depends on your pool size. So, thank you for watching. If you decide to modify like I did, kudos to you. You're going to get greater maximum flow of water, better cleaning, less time of the pump running, and less of a headache. you buy the bottom cleaner, even better for you. I want to say this project altogether, let's see. This stuff down here, this stuff was like, I want to say $5 to $6 a piece, so 5, 10, 15, just make adding here easier. That's 15. Then we got, I think this was $6. The pump was $125. These connectors were $6 a piece, so there's 2 of those. The pipe, I used 2 normal size pipes that, PVC piping that comes from Home Depot, Lowe's, any of those places. 2 of those for the length here. So those were, I want to say, $15 a piece, $14 a piece, something like that for those 2 pieces of pipe. The ends are, the curves are about like, I want to say 50 cents a piece, $1 the most. These screw ends were like $1.50 a piece. This one I actually saved from the old pump that I had here, so I only had to buy one. What else here? I did the pump, did the piping, did the skimmer stuff. Oh, and the bottom cleaner was, I won it on an auction on eBay. You can buy it for $99, buy it now on eBay, or you can sit on an auction like I did, and I got it for, I think, $95. A little bit of savings, not much, but better than nothing. Oh, and then, sorry, one other thing. You would have to buy the 3.5, I just did a short piece. They sell them at Home Depot, not that long, like 5 inches, 6 inches, whatever they come in. So I just got a small piece of that for the connection between here and there. I will add that up for you when I get inside.